coming at you from New Jersey, the capital of misery, the place where metal forgot to die.
This is the Here Lies Metal Too Many Notes New Music Review. I'm Samanthar.
And I am Maledictus, and we shall be your overlords for today and all of eternity. Welcome! Today, we have a band called Sorcerer's Sword with their 2021 demo. That's what it's called.
It's actually called Demo 2021.
Just demo. There's no.
All right, Sorcerer's Sword. This is, going to say, a black thrash band. They're out of Reno, Nevada. Formed probably in 2021, since that's when the demo's from. They are Demonizer on Battery and Noise and Satana Snake on Shred.
Not Santana Snake. Satana Snake. Not to be confused.
But yes, this is, despite being called Demo 2021, it was actually released March 4th, 2022, independently on Bandcamp and also on cassette via Mythic Ironworks.
A tape.
Now, this is going to be our first demo review. You know, we do albums usually. We've done EPs. But I want to do this demo because, for one, I just love this genre so much. We'll certainly get into it. And I think it's a really good demo, and it's a very beefy demo. It's like, 25 minutes long or so? So there's plenty to talk about on this thing.
Yeah, you guys are our first demo, so congratulations. We don't usually do demos, so if you're doing your demo, it was pretty good.
If you have a really fucking good demo, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
Okay, so now it's time for business, and that business is the Here Lies Metal 5-point bidirectional classification scale, as we go over every time. And this includes the categories of genre loyalty, listenability, production style, musical complexity, and just plain fun. And remember, neither end of these scales mean good or bad. It is all equal. Now, the first category, true or nonconformist. What is it?
All right, I'm going to say it's like a 2.5 for loosely true. On the true side, but not too true. We're tying several true styles together that may not typically be on the same album or from the same band. Primary style is black thrash, and specifically, I think that's a genre that has different flavors that it can come in, but this is my favorite flavor of black thrash, which has the emphasis on the first wave black metal riffs played with that thrash aggression. Many black thrash attacks on the album. We've got that typical thrash vocal with a lot of like squawking bird noises.
Wow, like that.
A little higher. That was a little. That sounded like a cat, but
that was a bird. That was definitely a bird.
But yeah, a lot of going like a lot of screaming, a lot of shrieking. A shrieking bird is on the album, and I especially like the shrieking because it sounds more like a King Diamond homage than a Tom Araya, which you might find with a lot of black thrash. Secondary genre on the album is heavy metal, and I noticed they use a structure on a number of the songs of like a black thrash verse with those black thrash riffs, but then it goes into like a kind of heavy metal chorus and maybe a few heavy metal bridges that are very joyous and soaring, and they even bring in this majestic clear vocal that I really enjoy for those parts. And we even have a tertiary element, a tertiary genre here of doom, and I think more like a new wave of British heavy metal style old school doom, just kind of poking in on those few moments when they slow down. I want to say best track I think to check out all those flavors coming together is track 4, Black Steel Warriors, which is also my favorite track, and it's just a beautiful work of art.
All this on a mere demo. Now, I just want to specify the difference between a King Diamond scream and a Tom Araya scream. A Tom Araya scream is and a King Diamond scream is just make it clear.
I disagree, and I hope we get a lot of hate for that.
No, it was it's Tom Araya. Anyway, it's
okay,
time.
I heard it. Okay,
it's time for the difference between sonic terror or distorted pop. What is it?
We're gonna say a 2 for a very firmly sonic terror in the terror end, not like extreme end, but terrifying still. We've got savage riffs, furious drumming, frightening bird noises. But as I said, this draws most strongly on the first wave black metal riffs, the Bathory riffs. So all those riffs, they're mean, but they're kind of like they're grooving. And we're not trying to enter any kind of like thrash speed war where we test the limits and see how fast anything can go. And definitely the heavy metal and doom elements, pull it back a little bit, make it. I'm not going to say easy listening, obviously, but make
Oh.
it much more much more listenable. Songs have a very loose structure, but they got a structure. We have verses and chorus, but we do have a lot of exploratory detours as well, where like the second half of a song might explore a whole other genre. So yeah, very interesting, nice flow to the demo here.
Yes, it's not easy if your ears are sensitive. It's harsh. It is harsh as salt on the ears, but it is the purpose.
Segueing nicely into our production scale, Fisher Price to high production, Maledictus.
I have to give this a 2 towards the Fisher Price end of the scale.
This is a demo, so we have to temper.
Right. Well, so yeah, maybe you have to scale that, but maybe 2.5. I don't know.
It might be a 3 for a demo.
It's true. Most people don't have the
I think it sounds really good for a demo, but go on.
Yeah, it does. It does sound better than some regular albums that are regular albums. All right. So the recording quality, being that this is a demo, kind of reminds you of that odorous, rungus looking guy in the cover. It just, is like, this is what this should sound like, right? But I'm there he is, Otis Urungus guy right there. I have a question for anyone who knows out there. Is there a bass in this or not? Because I was looking at the picture of the band and one of them was holding a bass guitar, but I can't seem to hear a bass. So
I don't think I could either.
So yeah, that's my big question. And maybe it didn't need one. Not everything needs a bass. It's true, but all the different drum pieces, on the other hand, are very clear. They're on the harsh side. The EQ for those drums are kind of very midsy, which is a very pure sound and very dry. So there's not a lot of echo or anything on those drums. They didn't really bother with that shit. Very dry guitar. Not a lot of effects going on here on the instruments, as I can hear. There's not much going on in there. Keeping it very simple, keeping it very in the room. Very organic. There's a bunch of reverb and delay in the Vox, as you would expect in this music era. Usually around that time, the early 80s, people just put a tremendous amount of reverb on the vocals, like Tom Araya. And, maybe that's, the band trying to get that sound of, that underground metal kind of thing. But yeah, finally, the most thing I'm going to say is I can't hear the bass, and I would like to hear a bass in this. That's just me though. Maybe people are like, no, it's not necessary for this kind of music. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's a judgment call, but as for the sound, I was actually surprised at how good this sounded. Especially this style of music usually is very primitive, likes to have that primitive necro production on it. And I can't imagine, for a full release, usually from a demo, you hear, the biggest jump is in production quality. But I don't think they're going to make a big jump or I hope they don't make a big jump when I hope they release a full album of.
Yeah, when they do their full album, it's like 5 high production. It's like all the way up.
It sounds like Behemoth. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Next is there not enough notes or are they too many notes? What is it?
I'm going to say 3.5, just getting into that too many notes range. A lot of high tempos and BPMs on this album. But I wouldn't say an insane amount for Black Thrash in particular. So it's within parameters for Black Thrash. Just giving slightly too many notes just for just sheer energy of which they played those notes.
I look at it this way: quantity of notes, not necessarily quality, and that's not
How
a
dare
bad.
you?
But in war, quantity is a quality all itself. I think Stalin said that or something. But it's 90% of. But it's mostly about the guitar here. I think. I mean, there's only 2 guys. There's not much. There's not much. There's not too much to be distributed of virtue here. But the guitar solos are a bit chaos magic, and and this guy could do a metal solo. So don't buy into the looseness and heavy-handed riffage as a lack of skill in this album. It's there. It's just it's very harshly recorded. And, that might maybe made you think these are less skilled guys, but it's not true. They know what they're doing. Yeah, that's my opinion. Next, is it fun or is it focused?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think it's fun.
I think this is a easy one for fun. Just with the bird noises, the King Diamond screaming, they're just very exuberant, played very exuberantly. And I don't know. I know all the riffs are supposed to be evil, but I always think this stuff is fun.
The thing that makes it immediately just makes it fun for me, even without listening to it, is the Odorous Urungus looking guy on the
Well,
cover.
let's talk about the art.
Yeah, it's time
Let's
for the
go
art.
right to the art.
So
Because
speaking
the
of
art definitely comes into the fun aspect.
yeah, speaking of
And
that's yeah.
I couldn't find it online, but it's on my tape here. I believe the art is done by Demonizer, member of the band.
All right, that's convenient. When you have a demo, usually you're not reading that point really to get an artist yet, right? Makes sense.
Well, it could have been a friend,
Yeah,
but no, it was him.
You know, he's like no one wanted to do it, so he's like, I'll just do
So-
it. Fuck you. But it's good though. It fits. It looks like demos used to look like back in the day when some guy you knew had a demo for his band. It looks like that. It's got that feel, which is really cool. That you know, even the cover art captures that feel of a demo.
I really like this guy on the cover here.
That looks like Odorous Urungus.
I mean, he doesn't have his dick out.
He does not have the dick because that's trademark, and they can't really like.
No, I think this is clearly an orc sorcerer, which Odorous Urungus was not.
No, he was a space.
He's
thing.
got a flaming sword. It's enchanted. Maybe he put a flame enchant on it.
No, that's a magic missile in his hand.
He's wielding an orb.
That's
A
destruction.
flaming orb.
That's destruction magic. And like in Skyrim when you have a sword in one hand, and in your other hand you can shoot a magic spell. That's what that is.
He's wearing a fur cloak of, plus to evil magic.
I don't see how fur cloaks help. I mean, because that fur keeps touching and he's not wearing a shirt, so that probably kind of rubs against his back and it makes him itch.
It might be some chainmail pants.
Yeah, maybe that's chainmail pants.
He's fucking ripped, even though he's a sorcerer. This dude is awesome.
Yeah, he's got like that orc face. I mean, and first thing you'd think is Odorous Urungus, but it really is a different kind of.
I didn't get that. I just saw an orc threatening you.
Yeah, it's orc-like.
I like this a lot. I had this tape for a while, and I just kind of sat it on my work desk, and whenever something shitty happened at work, I just look at this guy and I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to.
That's what a demo.
set something on fire.
That's what demo art should look like. It should be like drawn like on his notebook, and it's cool. He wasn't paying attention in school. He just draws this on his notebook.
Here's what the actual tape looks
Oh,
like.
yeah, white
It's
tape
white with some cool stuff
They used to never do that back in the day.
drawn on it.
Like tapes used to never have like different color silk screening on them. That's like a new thing. They didn't do that back in the day. And also, and he's got this little like marauder looking guy, like a little like on the. Maybe that's the same guy wearing a helmet. He's got an axe, like a little.
That's
little
the
guy there.
Mythic Ironworks logo.
Oh,
Not
okay.
affiliated with
That's
the
that's
band.
for the label. Okay.
Well, a very cool label run
Yeah.
by a friend of the show, Ryan.
There you go. So it's very similar artwork, and maybe he drew that himself as well.
I don't know.
But this looks like it was done, on like a copier. Like you used to like take Xerox
I'm
copies.
sure a copier was involved.
Yeah, you'd cut out the things and the old way. So I used to do it back in the day before you had like layout programs. So that's how you would do it. So yeah, that's authentic. The art is authentic. So
All right. Final thoughts. Sorcerer's Sword on their 2021 demo 2021. Very cool. Very awesome. This is my favorite style of metal, especially the tying in of black thrash and heavy metal together. That is what I'm looking for. That's all I'm looking for, and it's perfect. And I wish these guys all of the fortunes and all of the hype. So
they're about to embark on a very glorious career in metal, starting here.
all right. Thank you for listening. This has been the Herelies Metal Team and Notes New Music Review. I was Samantha.
Maledictus.
That was Maledictus.
We'll see you.